And finally, to our special segment, Resurgent Africa. Amid the coups and the crises, there are many positive stories from Africa that often get overlooked. But not on this show. Today we are getting you a story from Uganda. In a village not far from the capital Kampala, where young boys and girls are meeting up to wrestle in soft mud. They dream of one day emulating their heroes from the World Wrestling Entertainment and bringing the Golden Championship Belt home. But there are battles to be fought both in and out of the wrestling ring. Here's our report.
This is Daniel Cedric Bumba. Every morning as the sun rises in Uganda, he, along with other young boys and girls, prepare a battleground. The soil is tilled and wetted inside a makeshift wrestling ring. And then a dramatic announcement hails the arrival of the first contestants.
Introducing first the challenger, weighing at 217 pounds.
These young Ugandans are dreaming of becoming professional wrestlers. They gather for a soft ground wrestling competition in the district of Mukono. Their training sessions imitate pro wrestling contests on television that these teenagers follow religiously. While one pair fights on inside the ring made from bamboo poles, the others cheer the show of strength from the outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a friendly match. Introducing first the challenger, straight out a Katwe, weighing in.
They mimic every move, action and sound as their famous idols in the World Wrestling Entertainment combat sport, popularly known as the WWE.
In 2019, I was there in somebody's house working as a housemaid. One day, because he was using DSTV, we used to watch on WWE channel. Then I started watching wrestling in 2019. Then I was like, these guys, they can do that. I was very amazing. It was very amazing. Even me, I told myself in me, and I said, no, one day I will maybe, if God wishes, if we can be with us academy wrestling here in Uganda, one day I will join.
The Ugandan soft ground wrestling group started in 2023. In the local wrestling community, it is known as Bumbash.
This pro wrestling, it has not been here in Africa, East Africa, for example, but we've heard of it in Nigeria and South Africa. So I wanted to introduce a new thing on the block, whereby it comes from the inner me, because I have the zeal, the adoration, and the love for the game. Unlike other sports like swimming, boxing, basketball, kickboxing, I love wrestling with all my heart.
The 35-year-old founder of the community, Daniel Cedric Bumba, hopes some of these wrestlers, many of them orphans, can do well and long enough to go professional. He says he hopes to build a professional ring and an academy not just for the youth in Uganda, but for those all across Africa.
I want these students, or young Ugandans, to pursue their career in pro wrestling and go further to follow their dream, so as they can become professional potential wrestlers in future.
For now, Bumba is yet to find appropriate training facilities and health insurance for participants. The fighting looks dangerous, but he insists that they take precautions.
So far, I've never had an injury, serious injury. Like the injuries we get like this, but it's not serious injuries, right? Like you have like a shock, yeah? Like a shock, and then you go to the clinic, then they prepare you, like 2 or 3 weeks, then you get set, then you come back, but it's not always serious. But this game is not dangerous, so that you're used to it, and you know how to take landings. When our coach always tells us that safety first.
Many of the youth in and around the ring have long dropped out of school. Some trainees live in a dorm nearby where they have access to weightlifting equipment. Bumba says the community could benefit many children who might otherwise be idle or trapped in crime. And some of these young protégés also imagine a future on the biggest wrestling stage of all.
My dream is to be in the greatest company called WWE Professional Wrestling in United States of America. That's where my role model is, Seth Rollins.
Can wrestling in the mud one day lead to WWE Championship belts coming to Uganda? For these teens, it's the glimmer of a dream with little else in place.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alyson Grange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.